Let us begin by asking a simple question. What does power really mean in the modern world? Is it simply about tanks, missiles, and aircraft carriers? Or is it about the capacity to shape events without firing a single shot? Today, we are witnessing a profound moment in global history, one that challenges the conventional understanding of military dominance. China, through calculated strategy, technological innovation, and economic leverage, is delivering a strategic blow to the United States military power, not in the distant future, but right now. And if you think this is just about geopolitics happening somewhere else, think again. This is about understanding the shifting dynamics that will shape your economy, your job, and the global order in which you live. Most people assume that military power is measured by the size of a nation's army, the number of aircraft carriers it possesses, or the tonnage of its missiles. They believe bigger is better, louder is stronger, and that flashy displays of force are proof of ultimate dominance. But let me pause and ask, when was the last time raw size alone determined the outcome of a conflict or the course of history? History is filled with examples where smaller, smarter, and strategically positioned forces outmaneuvered larger, more powerful ones. Why did a handful of revolutionaries in unexpected places change the fate of nations? Why did technological innovation in one small region alter global trade, military strategy, and political alliances? The answer lies in the difference between brute force and real power. Brute force can intimidate, threaten, and even temporarily control territory, but it rarely secures lasting influence. Real power, the kind that shapes history, is about foresight, precision, adaptability, and the ability to anticipate the moves of others before they happen. This is the essence of China's current strategy, and it should serve as a wake-up call for anyone who still equates might with right. China has demonstrated that dominance is not about size or spending, but about intelligence, coordination, and long-term planning. For decades, they have invested in technology, cyber capabilities, precision weapons, and strategic partnerships that allow them to challenge even the most powerful militaries in ways that cannot be measured by numbers alone. The implications go beyond geopolitics. How often do we, in our personal and professional lives, mistake effort or quantity for effectiveness? How often do we exhaust ourselves with work, believing that doing more guarantees success? The lesson is clear. Strategy trumps size, insight trumps effort, and timing trumps force. The most successful individuals, companies, and societies are those who recognize leverage points, anticipate shifts, and deploy their resources with precision. Victory rarely comes from exertion alone. It comes from intelligent application of effort where it matters most. Just as nations can be blindsided by smaller, smarter competitors, you too can miss opportunities by focusing on quantity over quality. Endless effort without clarity can waste energy on tasks that do not truly move the needle. China's approach teaches us that power is multidimensional and that appearances can be deceptive. What seems dominant on the surface can actually be vulnerable, slow, and predictable. The future belongs not to those who hoard resources recklessly, but to those who think critically, anticipate trends, and act decisively. This principle is universal. It applies to economics, business, personal growth, and relationships. Those who can see beyond the obvious, understand deeper structures, and act with foresight will always outperform those who rely on size, volume, or noise. Every major shift in global power reminds us that intelligence, strategy, and vision matter more than raw capacity. China's challenge to U.S. military dominance is proof of this truth, and a mirror reflecting our own vulnerabilities and opportunities. Real power is about clarity, precision, and foresight. Those who grasp this truth thrive where others fail. Change is not a threat, it is a fundamental reality of life, yet most people meet it with fear, hesitation, or denial. The rise of China is not just a geopolitical event, it is a vivid demonstration of a universal truth. The old ways of thinking and acting will not carry us forward in a constantly evolving world. Many assume yesterday's rules will govern tomorrow. They believe what worked in the past will continue to work. But history shows otherwise. Systems shift, power moves, and those who fail to anticipate are left behind. China's rise is a masterclass in anticipating change and preparing for it strategically. They studied trends, invested long-term, and positioned themselves to capitalize on global shifts. The lesson applies to you as well. Are you waiting for someone to tell you change is coming, or are you observing patterns, reading the signs, and preparing to act? Every disruption, technological, social, or economic, reminds us that adaptation is survival itself. Too many resist change, clinging to the familiar, denying that what once brought stability may now bring vulnerability. History is full of corporate giants who ignored new technologies, workers who refused to adapt, investors who misread global shifts. Their downfall was predictable. Failing to adapt leaves you vulnerable. Embracing change creates extraordinary opportunities. Every disruption carries within it a hidden opportunity. China's strategic challenge to the U.S. proves this. They exploit weaknesses with precision, not panic. You can do the same in your life. Adaptability is the ultimate competitive advantage. The world rewards those who are alert, responsive, and willing to rethink assumptions. Waiting for certainty is a recipe for stagnation. Systems thinking is another key lesson. China did not rise by focusing on isolated battles, but by understanding systemic vulnerabilities, interconnections, and cascading effects. Most people, in contrast, see only fragments, one problem, one obstacle, without recognizing the bigger system. They react to symptoms instead of causes. But the world is never as simple as it appears. Success depends on seeing patterns, connecting dots, and acting in alignment with the system around you. In business, this means analyzing markets and supply chains as networks. In personal life, it means understanding your workplace dynamics or financial structures. Those who master systems thinking gain insights invisible to others, anticipate crises, and seize opportunities. Knowledge alone is not enough. Courage to act and innovate separates those who merely observe from those who shape outcomes. China has not only identified advantages, they acted with precision and commitment. Seeing an opportunity is only the first step. Seizing it before it vanishes is what creates results. Many hesitate, waiting for perfect conditions that never come. But history shows that innovation comes from those willing to act in uncertainty, to risk, to experiment while others wait. The moment to act is always imperfect, but the cost of inaction is far greater than the risks of decisive action. China's rise is not luck, it is deliberate, disciplined execution. For individuals, the lesson is transformative. Knowledge and foresight mean little without bold action. Courage and innovation must go together. To act without innovation is to repeat the past. To innovate without action is to dream without impact. Together, they create momentum, influence, and transformation. In global strategy, business, or personal ambition, one truth stands firm. Those who act decisively, innovate relentlessly, and embrace risk intelligently will shape the future. Hesitation is surrender. Boldness is the path to power. But let us take this further. If real power is not brute force but strategy, foresight, and action, then we must ask ourselves another question. What is the foundation of such power? Where does it truly begin? The answer is not in the battlefield. It begins in the mind. Power begins with perception, the ability to see clearly what others overlook. Nations that fail to perceive emerging threats are blindsided. Companies that fail to perceive new markets collapse. Individuals who fail to perceive opportunities remain stuck while others move ahead. Perception creates awareness. Awareness creates strategy. Strategy creates action, and action creates results. This chain is as true for civilizations as it is for personal lives. The tragedy is that many people never move beyond perception. They see the world shifting but do nothing. Others never move beyond strategy. They plan, they talk, they analyze, but when the time to act comes, they freeze. Real power belongs to those who complete the chain, those who perceive, strategize, act, and sustain. China's rise illustrates this clearly. They perceived the vulnerabilities of traditional U.S. military dominance. They strategized around it with technology, partnerships, and unconventional tools. They acted by building capabilities and networks. And now they sustain their influence by continuously adapting. Here's the truth: power is a cycle, not a moment. It is not a single victory, a single achievement, or a single breakthrough. It is the continuous renewal of perception, strategy, and action. Those who stop renewing fall behind. Nations, businesses, and individuals who rest on yesterday's success are overtaken by those who adapt today. Think about the giants of history. Empires that once seemed invincible crumbled because they stopped adapting. Companies that once dominated industries vanished because they clung to outdated methods. Even personal careers collapse when people stop learning, stop observing, stop moving forward. The pattern is always the same. Stagnation is defeat. This brings us to another crucial insight: resilience. True power is not about never failing. It is about the ability to absorb shocks, recover, and adapt faster than others. China's rise has not been without setbacks, economic crises, political pressure, internal challenges, yet each time they recalibrated, shifted course, and pushed forward. That resilience is itself a weapon. So let me ask you, how resilient are you when setbacks come, and they always come? Do you collapse, or do you adjust? Do you treat failure as a wall or as a signal to change direction? Resilience is the multiplier of all other strengths. Without it, even the most brilliant strategy collapses at the first blow. With it, even modest resources can achieve extraordinary influence. And resilience is built, not inherited. It is cultivated through habits of reflection, learning, and adaptability. Just as China studies every move of its competitors, you must study your own setbacks, extract lessons, and reapply them with greater wisdom. But resilience alone is not enough. There must also be vision. Power without vision is dangerous. Action without vision is reckless. Vision provides the compass that aligns perception, strategy, and resilience toward a meaningful end. China's vision of restoring its historical role as a central global power drives its strategy with consistency over decades. That long horizon makes short-term sacrifices acceptable, makes discipline sustainable, and makes their moves coherent. What is your vision? Too many individuals drift through life reacting to circumstances instead of setting a direction. Without vision, even brilliant action becomes scattered. With vision, even small steps accumulate into transformative progress. Now consider the convergence of all these elements: perception, strategy, action, resilience, and vision. Together, they form the architecture of true power. This architecture explains why traditional measures, size, force, volume, often fail. They are surface indicators. The deeper foundations of power are invisible but decisive. This is the ultimate lesson from China's strategic challenge to U.S. dominance. Power is not what it appears to be. It is not loud. It is not obvious. It is not flashy. Power is built quietly, strategically, systematically until the moment comes when it cannot be ignored. And here is where the lesson comes home to you. What invisible power are you building? What unseen preparation are you making? Are you positioning yourself for the future, or are you clinging to the illusions of the past? The world is entering an age where adaptability, foresight, and intelligent action matter more than ever. The challenges of tomorrow, whether technological disruptions, economic transformations, or geopolitical shifts, will not be won by those who appear strongest today, but by those who prepare most intelligently now. So remember this: power is not possession, it is practice. It is not a trophy you hold, but a discipline you live. And those who live with clarity, resilience, and courage will always rise above those who rely only on size, noise, or fear. The rise of China is not just a story about geopolitics. It is a living metaphor. It is a mirror. It is a reminder that in every arena of life, true dominance belongs to those who think long, act wisely, and adapt relentlessly. The choice is before you. Will you be among those who cling to old assumptions, waiting for certainty as the world passes you by? Or will you be among those who perceive, strategize, act, and adapt, shaping the future instead of being shaped by it? That, my friends, is the difference between watching history and making it.